This is part two, Salakium, of my chapter, 2 Samuel chapter 23 breakdown. I didn't have enough lighting in my other settings, so I had to switch venues. So bear with me. Okay, I'm going to start back at verse 6. But the sons of Belial shall be all of them as thorns thrust away, because they cannot be taken with hands. Now, jumping down to verse 7. But the man that shall touch them must be fenced with iron and the staff of a spear, and they shall be utterly burnt with fire in the same place. In the same damn place, they gonna be burnt with fire. Okay? Now, this is talking about the sons of rebellion. Okay? All coming up against the Lord. And I'm mainly talking about Esau, but all of these damn heathen nations, pursuant to Psalms, the 92nd chapter, I believe, or the 82nd chapter, where it's talking about the counsel of the wicked, who came together, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. And if I'm wrong about that chapter in Psalms, please somebody correct me. But let me move on. I actually think I want to hit Isaiah chapter 34. That's what I'm going to hit. Isaiah chapter 34. I got a precept to kind of back this up. Isaiah. For some reason, I'm at 49. Let me go to Isaiah 34. Bear with me, Yasharella. Okay, this is Isaiah 34. And I'm going to start at 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse for judgment. Okay? Now we're going to try to tie this back in 2 Samuel. I don't really think that was I think I got a little ahead of myself with that precept, but let's revert back to this 2 Samuel chapter 23. Starting at verse 6. But the sons of Belial shall be all of them as thorns thrust away, because they cannot be taken with hands. But the man that shall touch them must be fenced with iron and the staff of a spear, and they shall be utterly burnt with fire in the same place. Okay? In the same place they about to be burnt with fire. You feel me? Because the man who touches them must be armed. So Israel has no army. Israel has no defense mechanism right now but the Lord. The Lord is Israel's only defense mechanism. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Barakatham. Okay? So, all of these nations that try to go against us, I actually want to hit Obadiah 1. I think I want to hit 7 through 10. So bear with me while I go to Obadiah. 1. All right. Okay. This is Obadiah 1:18. Okay. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining in the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. Okay, so what is this house of? The house of Joseph and the house of Jacob is going to be a fire and a flame, okay? That's that rekindling of that rage that was spoken of by Jacob from Simeon and Levi. And what did we touch on again with that Simeon and Levi? Simeon is indicative or synonymous with the northern kingdom tribes, and Levi is synonymous with the southern kingdom tribes. Okay? Because that's how that happened. If I didn't go over it already, that's how that happened. And we tying that back into Obadiah. And we're tying it back into this 2 Samuel 23. And how I came to this revelation about this sword, this H6696 Hebrew word out the Strong's Concordance. You know? Because all of this is just tying in with Ezekiel 37, the coming back together of the two sticks, you know. And we're gonna read more in depth. So I'm gonna jump back down to I'm gonna jump back to 2 Samuel chapter 23, and I'm gonna start from 6. But the sons of Belial shall be all of them as thorns thrust away. Yeah, because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is gonna destroy these people, okay? Because they cannot be taken with hands. Yeah, they can't be taken with hands, so the Lord himself is gonna touch them. You feel me? But the man that shall touch them must be fenced with iron and a staff of a spear, and they shall be utterly burnt with fire in that same place. Okay, and this is going back to, you know, the house of Joseph and the house of Jacob shall be a fire and a flame. In that same place, they're going to be burnt. You know, and also this goes back into, I believe, in Corinthians, if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me, where it says, put on the whole armor of the Lord, of the gospel of the Lord. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So, all right. So, I'm just taking a little peek at my notes, make sure I'm staying on track. Now I'm going to jump down to 8. Okay, so this is 7. But the man that shall touch them must be fenced with iron and staff of a spear, and they shall be utterly burnt with fire in the same place. Okay, so this is the end of that. This is the end of his spiel right here of that prophecy. Now, these next ones, I'm going to jump down to 8. These be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Tachmonite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. The same was Adino the Ezonite. He lift up his spear against 800 he slew at one time. Damn, he lifted up his spear and slew 800 at one time. Okay, and this is 9. And after him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo, the Athitite, one of the 3 mighty men with David when they defied the Philistines that were there gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away. He arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand cleave unto the sword. And the Lord wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil. Okay? And after him was Shema, the son of Agag the Haratite. And the Philistines were gathered together in a troop, where was a piece of ground full of lentils, and the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great victory. So I'm seeing a reoccurring event where he's keeps reminding us of these feats that his mighty men had, which is leads us to in this day, Jacob is gonna David is gonna have his mighty men here today. So he's bringing back into remembrance those who feared the Lord, and the power that they had and the might that they had. So I kind of want to tie that in with Isaiah 34, you know. But this also reminds me of Isaiah 40 and 31. So let me hit that point real quick before I do anything. Isaiah 40 and 31. Isaiah 40 and 31. Because I'm really just trying to make this point. 40 and 31. Bear with me, Yasharala. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. So, just as we read in the last few verses of 2 Samuel chapter 23, in remembrance of the mighty men, it's gonna tie in with this Isaiah 40 and 31, because who can fight against 300 men and slay them and not get tired? You have to have spiritual powers to do that. Spiritual powers to slay 300 men with your sword, with a staff, to beat up slay 300, a whole troop of men with a staff. Come on now, that's spiritual powers. All right. So this is just bringing back into remembrance all that fear Adawan Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. In these last days, they're gonna be giving that spirit on them, to that spirit and that vengeance that was spoken of in Genesis through Simeon and Levi, which just represent those two sticks coming back together, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. They're gonna bring all of that rage they have in them out, and remember the mighty works that David and the house of David did in those days. Okay, so let's read a little bit more into the 2 Samuel. And after, I'm going to start at 12, 2 Samuel 23 and 12. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great victory. And 3 of the 30 chiefs went down and came to David in the harvest time, went unto the cause of Adullam, and the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And David was then in a holy. My bad. And David was then in an hold. And the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me to drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." And the 3 mighty men break through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem. See, that water right now in that well is just indicative of this spirit that's coming to us right now. This waters, the streams of living waters coming to his elect and his mighty men from the house of David at this time. Okay? So all of these last few verses just bringing into remembrance the mighty deeds of the people that put their trust in the Lord. So if I haven't went to Isaiah 40, I hit Isaiah 40 and 31, but let me get Isaiah 34 and 5, because I feel like that has something in it. And I kind of went past it. Okay, so this is Isaiah 34, and I'm gonna start at 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven; behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Okay, upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood; it is made fat with the fatness, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Okay, so this when it's going down to the and with the blood and the lambs, Salaki, with the blood and the lambs, and with the blood is made with the fat, and with the fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fatness of kidneys. Okay, that is goes in. If you go to Leviticus 3, that is concerning a peace offering, and that's why it goes on to say the Lord hath a great sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And we talking about a peace offering is a sacrifice that you make with fire, and you take the blood of the fat. Salaki, let me get this. The fatness, you take the fatness, and with the blood of the lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of the rams, for the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra. So you could check Leviticus chapter 3, verse 1 through 5, I believe, out, and that'll go into that whole the blood of the fat of the rams and the kidneys. That goes into that peace offering. So the Lord gonna send a fire of destruction to for those who gather against Simeon and who gather against Levi in these last days. The Lord is gonna send that destruction, that fire that is gonna devour them, which we already tied into Isaiah, which we already tied into Ezekiel 37 with the coming together of the two sticks. You know, we already got that in Jeremiah, I believe, but I don't think I ever got to my Jeremiah 31 and 31, but let me hit that point. So this is Jeremiah chapter 31, and I'm going to start at verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Yeah, I think I already hit that one. So Salaki, you know, we hit the Ezekiel. But also, I want to get this Zechariah 12 and 8, because, you know, when we speaking about these mighty men, these men of renown of the house of David, this is, I'm going to tie this in. I'm going to tie this in on loop, swoop, and pull like a shoe. Adawan Ratazah. Let me try to find it first while I'm talking mess. Damn it. Excuse me. Okay, I'm finding everything but that one. Bear with me, please. I'm trying to get this in Zechariah. Okay, notice in these last ones. Over here. Okay, I'm close. I'm getting close. I can smell it. Maybe one day. Okay, this is the book of Zechariah, chapter 12. And I'm gonna hit verse 8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them all at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. So right there it says the feeblest, the most feeblest of men are gonna be like David, King David. And that's why this 2 Samuel 23 in these later verses after 7 or 6, I believe, let's say 8, starting at verse 8 is describing these mighty men because it's linking back up to the verse we just stated in Zechariah 12 and 8. Okay, the feeblest of the remnant of the house of David that is left shall become as mighty as David. And that's why in 2 Samuel 23, starting at verse 8, is giving us these accounts. After 1 through 7, he gave us this prophecy. Now it's giving us the accounts of the mighty men. Okay, now anywhere after just keeps giving us these accounts with of his different mighty men. Gives us a couple nations like the Egyptians, the Philistines, the Hittites, Canaanites, you know. But now we know that these people are coming up against us in these end times, you feel me? So just stay prayed up, repent, stay in this book. You know what I'm saying? Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. And hopefully, Adawan Ratazah, this lesson was edifying. And if any brothers have anything to add, you feel like I missed out, put it on the comment board. But peace and salutations. Kwam Yasharala and Wa Ba Ba. Shalom.